Hello, another Q&A podcast with Alice, who's been very busy.
Honestly, it's just non-stop at the moment, but very exciting morning. I have paid the deposit on my sister's wedding dress this morning. So
Oh,
very exciting day, very exciting. Not what any of us were ready for this morning, but she's found the dress. So yeah, really
very
good.
nice. That's good. That's good. And then
Yeah.
you paid for a did you say a swim this morning?
Open water swim, yeah, triathlon training, then Q&A, getting ready. Then we're out at a 30th birthday party this evening. And then tomorrow was a practice super sprint triathlon.
A
So
practice.
very busy weekend.
Ooh, where are you doing the
Yeah.
super sprint?
It's a place in the Res called Pittsford Reservoir.
Nice.
So we've just booked onto like one of their swim sessions, but then round the reservoir, I think it is a 10K circuit. So we'll just do like a 10K bike route and then a short run after as well. My friend's a bit nervous about the transition. So I said, well, we'll do like
A super
a
sprint.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
So
not
it's
going to
not
do the full distance.
not an official event, just
No, just us practicing on our own. So if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter because no
no,
one can judge us.
no.
That's the plan.
Ah, well, let me know how that
Yeah.
goes. That's good. And actually, that's
Very
appropriate for one
busy.
of the questions that we're going
It
to be going
is.
through.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But yeah,
cool.
you've
Well,
been enjoying your week off instead.
I have, yeah, just nice and chilled, nice and quiet, which is good. But yeah, no, and I'm ready to get back into it next week, which is good
Good.
because we've only got 3 weeks to
We
the
have.
next Shape Up program, and
Yeah,
we've already got people signing up, which is great.
yeah,
So that's really good. And if anybody's listening to this and is interested, what I'll try and do is in the notes underneath, I'll put a link to the sign up page where you can read through the information and you can sign up and register if you want to. Or you can get in touch with us and we'll answer any questions that you've got. But it's an 8 week program designed to start getting you building habits around nutrition and exercise. And whatever your goal is, if your goal is fat loss, we can certainly help you with that. And we're getting people who are losing anywhere between 7 and 14 pounds over the 8 weeks, which is great. Getting into the gym, building confidence. If you've got a health and fitness goal, so we've got somebody whose goal was lowering cholesterol and trying to get the blood sugars down below pre-diabetic levels, and they've achieved that. So there are really, really good sort of achievements coming out of this program. So if you're interested, have a look at the show notes underneath this and have a look at the link, or you can get in touch with us and ask a question. Wrong way, that way, at Fitter Food Lover. I've got it mirrored, that's why. Which is cool. All right. Okie dokie. And I've just had a message from somebody who's just sent me a question.
Ooh, an
Yeah,
on the spot question.
and on the spot question, actually, it's the first person who sent us the question who's just said, "When's your next 6 week challenge? I am in a much better place to do it." So that's from Steph, which is great. So
Amazing.
we'll see if we get somebody else. There you go. That's live. It's
That's
amazing.
a live sign up. There we are. Good question.
Cool.
There you
So
go.
I'm going to be
Sweet.
question master today, and
I know.
you can
Putting me on the spot.
put you on the spot. All right. So the first one, this is from Steph, who's just messaged us. Um, so the box was questions on nutrition, fitness, and exercise. And she's asking if you could only focus on one of those, which one would you choose first?
On nutrition, fitness. What is it? Fitness and exercise, or fitness? Was it fitness and weight loss?
Fitness, nutrition, and fat loss. Which one would you focus on first?
So that is a very good question, but also quite difficult in a way because they all are so heavily interlinked.
Yeah.
And I think it really depends on what your goal is, because for some people, focusing on fat loss isn't necessarily a goal. Like at the moment, my goal isn't fat loss; mine's very much a performance-based goal. With the triathlon coming up, so for me, it's definitely fitness. So if you've got a a fitness-based goal, that would be your number one. But
Yeah.
then to improve on your fitness, your nutrition ties into that because that plays such a heavy part on your fitness. And then the same for fat loss. So that's like your underlying for everything, really. But then if you are looking to drop some weight to then improve your fitness, you'd focus on your fat loss first, which is then where your nutrition comes in. So I'd say out of everything, no matter what your goals are, your nutrition is going to be so important to you.
Yeah.
But all of them are so heavily interlinked that it's really hard to just say only prioritize one. But yeah, I'd say if I absolutely had to, then nutrition. But the other two, it depends on you as an individual as to what your goal is,
Yeah.
as to what you would make your focus, I guess.
I guess it also depends on your starting point, because if
Yeah,
you're somebody who is fairly active already, then the fitness side of things, it's just a few tweaks, so it's
yeah,
not too bad. Whereas actually, if your diet's not great, then that would be your priority. Fat loss, I would actually say fat loss is probably the least important out of the three of them.
yeah,
Get your nutrition sorted, then the fat loss will happen if that's
yeah,
a goal. If you've got your nutrition fairly good and it's just a few tweaks and you're working on fitness, then again your fat loss would come afterwards.
yeah,
So I think you're right in that probably nutrition, because that's what most people struggle with.
yeah.
And then working on kind of a bit of fitness, but it depends what your starting point is. Depending on which one you're struggling with most, focus on that first and then work on the other stuff. And quite
And like
often,
you say, yeah, the others will follow, won't they? Depending on the area that for you is the main goal and what you really need to work on. Like I said, the others will come with that. So if nutrition is a massive goal for you because you understand that your current diet isn't supporting you,
yeah,
once you sort of we change that slightly, the fat loss will come if that's sort of what you're looking at. Or if you find that your fitness is struggling but your nutrition's not quite there, you then find that that'll increase once you change your nutrition. So yeah, I think that's like your underlying for everything, really, isn't it?
yeah, I think focus on that, and it's not overcomplicating it as well. It's making
Mm,
sure that you keep things simple around the nutrition. So focus on, rather than thinking about, oh, I've got to track my calories, I've got to hit my protein. Let's focus on the simple stuff like three good meals at regular times
yeah,
every day. If you can get into that habit first, then you can start looking at, okay, so what's in that meal? Let's make sure we've got a protein source. Let's make sure we include some fruit and veg and start from there. And then once you've got that, you can then tweak all the other stuff, making sure you've got healthy fats in there. And once you've got your nutrition better and your hydration good, you'll find that your energy levels increase, and you'll
yeah,
find that actually you'll probably be more motivated, or more inclined to do the exercise afterwards. So yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. I think getting the nutrition sorted, or
yeah,
certainly better, that will then work on the other stuff.
yeah.
Cool. All right. This one is really appropriate for you. How do I balance my fitness goals with a busy lifestyle or family obligations? There we go.
Yeah, my mum literally said to me in the car, she's like, Alice, I don't know how you have time to do your life. She went, you do not stop. And I just thought then, I thought, yeah, I guess you're right. But equally, I if I say I don't have a choice, that comes across as quite negative and like I'm being forced to do things. I'm absolutely not. But I do have a choice because no one's making me work out, go to the gym, do these sessions. But for me, they're really important. And my why at the moment as to why I'm training so hard, why I'm trying to eat well, is all to get to that finish line and get that medal at that triathlon. That's all I care about right now. Blinkers are on. That's the goal. And actually, if I want that, I have to fit my training in. Like there's no other way. And they look at me weird at work when I tell them I booked a 9 p.m. swim session when they all know I love bedtime at 9 p.m. Or last night we went to badminton because Tom was working away. We booked a badminton court at 9 p.m. And they're like, that's so late to go to the gym. I'm like, but it's when we fit them in. I'm working full time, sometimes can be very long hours. Like I say, to get my swim session in today, I was at the lake. It's a 40-minute drive from home for 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, which is when I'd normally have a bit more of a relaxed morning. I don't have to do a practice triathlon tomorrow, but we'll fit that in. And I think it's just, if you want something, if your why is strong enough, you will make things work for you.
Yeah.
And it's sorting out those priorities. So where it's like a busy lifestyle and family commitments, like what is it that's busy in your lifestyle? Because that's, I think, where you really need to focus on that. If your busy lifestyle is that you're out socializing, you're going to the pub with friends after work, you're out having coffee and brunch all the time. Well, actually, if that's what you're enjoying, there's nothing wrong with that. But then really, how important is that nutrition and fitness to you?
Yeah.
Because if it's that like much of a priority, you would swap going to the pub after work for that gym session or that evening walk or going for a run or whatever that is, that movement is that you enjoy, if that's a priority in your life. Family, it's a little bit more difficult because when you've got children, you have to fit it in around them. And parents, it can be like, I believe they're absolute superheroes because it can be so much more difficult. But if you have got the children at home, I think the important thing, and I know this is something you do quite a lot, Will, like your boys know that you're very active. And when you have them, you don't just spend weekends sat doing nothing. Like you take them out and about, like bring them into it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason you can't go for a family bike ride or a walk around the park together, or do a home workout if that's an option. You know, if they're having a nap, have the homework, you know, do the home workout. And it's, for me, I'd say just thinking what those priorities are, what's important for you, why you want to get that movement in, and it will then become more of a priority in your life. And it can be difficult. I'm not saying I find it easy, but every day if I wake up and think, oh man, I've booked a 9 p.m. swim, or I need to do my run, I remember why I'm doing it, and that gets me to the end because I visualize me with that medal and not tapping out because I've not trained hard enough. And I said it to Tom. I said, I know that I will, no matter what happens on the day, I will get there and know that I have done everything that I possibly can. Like I couldn't have done any more. And I would rather do that and fail than get there knowing that I haven't trained, because then I can't be disappointed in myself. And I think, yeah.
I think you've kind of hit a couple of really, really good points there. Bang on the head. The first one is priorities. It's what do you prioritize? And like you say, it's absolutely fine if you prioritize socializing and spending time with friends, and that's important to you, then that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know, that is absolutely fine. But you then can't turn around and say, well, I wish I could do, you know, I wish I could do this. I wish I could lose weight. I wish I could get fitter and healthier, because your priority is spending time with family and friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is going to be your priority. So that's your focus. We make time for the things we prioritize. And if you make your health and fitness a priority, you will make time for it. You know, if you want, I don't know, this is really stereotyping and it's not good. But you know, if you prioritize having good fingernails, you make time to go to have your fingernails done. If you prioritize having a nice hairstyle, this is something that I've got no idea about. You make time to go to the hairdresser. You know, you make time to go to the dentist. You make time because they are priorities. So treat your health and fitness like that, to make time. And you don't need to make hours of time.
No.
You know, if you want to get fitter, it could just be 10, 15 minutes a day that you make time for to do some little mini workouts or go for a short run, whatever. If it's nutrition, then you make time to plan your meals. You make time to cook the meals, you know. Or if you can't cook, if you're really struggling, then nowadays we've got loads and loads of really good convenient options that can be healthy as well. So it's whatever you prioritize, you're going to make time for. And then if you are a parent, it is hard. It frustrates the hell out of me when you get these, you know, 20-something-year-old influencers who are shredded. You know, they've
got the same 24 hours.
Yeah, and they're putting pictures up of themselves in Dubai or sat next to a rented Lamborghini. And they're going, yeah, we've all got the same 24 hours. No, you haven't. You've got no idea. Your responsibilities are a lot less than people who've got, you know, 1, 2, 3 kids. But if you are a parent, then it's great to show them, like you say, get them involved, go for walks, go for bike rides, go for a swim. There are loads of activities that are free or cheap that you can do with them. See them, let them see you working out. That's something that, you know, as you just said there, my boys know that fitness is something that's important to me, because it then allows me to be present and spend time with them, because I feel better and I'm fitter and healthier, that I can keep up with them. But we also go and do active stuff together. We'll go to the trampoline park and do that. We'll go and do Ninja Warrior stuff. We'll go and play football down at the park or play frisbee. But they also see me work out. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I'm not that you can see because I've got the background on, but I've got my own gym, and I can work out when I'm at home, and they see me do that, and it shows them that that's an important part of my life. I've got clients who do workouts at home that their children see, and they'll get involved. You know, I've had pictures and videos of people where their children are actually copying them in terms of the exercise. Which is great, because it shows them that that's a normal part of a healthy lifestyle. So include them, you know, and the kids will enjoy that. But ultimately, you will make time for the things that are important to you. So, you know, if you're saying, well, I don't have time to exercise or make meals, reframe what you're the way you're looking at it. Reframe it. So this is important, therefore I'm going to make time. And rather than, and the other one as well, and this has been said by loads of other people, and it's a little bit contrite, but it is an effective way of looking at things. Instead of thinking I have to do something, it's I get to do it. And it sounds a little bit kind of a little bit schmaltzy or whatever, but it is, you know, if you are an able-bodied person who's relatively fit and healthy, then you get to go for a walk, you get to go swimming, you get to go to the gym to lift weights. Not everybody can do that, so you know, be grateful. And gratitude is a good thing to use as well, and look at it. Be grateful that you get to do these things, because it really help you stick with it.
And it was one I used this morning. And I think we've said before, I went through that period where I very badly broke my ankle and couldn't move. And I remember just sitting on my sofa being like, I cannot wait to get back to just being able to take the dog around the woods. And I thought, I'm never again going to take that for granted. And I haven't since. And it's one of those things where, like, I'll always remember that time where that was the only thing I wished I could do. And sometimes until you've been through it, but I'm always like, I get to do this. And the whole gratitude thing, it was a very early start this morning. It was a little bit cold. My wetsuit was still damp. But driving in, and it's through the countryside, and the sun was coming up, and I thought, I am so lucky. If I hadn't booked this swim, I wouldn't have got to see that beautiful view this morning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very grateful and very lucky that I get to see that.
Yeah.
And that I get to do this. And like you say, it does get you through. Like, woke up, thought, why have I booked this? But by the time I got there, I was so ready to go and get stuck in, that it is that mindset is so important, and that can make a massive difference.
Yeah, it does massively. All right, next question. How do I start a workout routine as a beginner? Now, this is a good one for you, because obviously you were
Mine's changed.
you were a client of mine when
was.
you started. How many years? Is that got to be 2.5 years ago?
It was
Maybe
COVID, so
longer.
I think it's closer to 4.
Wow.
3.5, 4. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
very long time. It's gone quick though.
Yeah. How do you start a workout routine then as a beginner?
So I remember, so I went through a bit of a process before working with you to kind of work out where I was, what I was doing. Started learning actually before I started working with you, which is why I chose you, because a lot of what you spoke about was what I'd learned and agreed with. But it is one of those things, I think finding a good coach is a really great place to start, because if you're going in completely blind and you don't know what you're doing, you can then sometimes you'll see people at the gym, and if they don't stick to a solid program, you can jump around all over the place. And if you don't have that solid actual workout, and you're flitting around, it may take longer to see progress because you're not sticking to something solid. Whereas having a good coach can really help with that. And if you don't know where to start, I'd say sit yourself down and be really honest with yourself in, right, how many workouts could I realistically do a week? You know, thinking about everything else we have to do, whether the children have got like swimming club or this, that, and the other on, what days can you give to you? You know, even if it's half an hour, up to an hour, what can I commit to in a week? Realistically, how many times? And use that as your base. Set your workout days and use them. And if you are a beginner, it's how you're going to like split that. But I would say, you know, finding yourself a good coach if you're an absolute beginner. For me, working with you, Will, and having that coach that was there to keep you accountable, do my workouts, someone to ask questions to as well. You can go online now, go on Instagram and see, oh, this was my workout today, follow it. But if you're doing that exercise wrong, you're not overly sure, it can be really difficult. Whereas if you've got a coach that knows what they're talking about, that you can just message and be like, well, what does this mean? Am I doing this right? I filmed me doing these squats today. Is my form okay? Like, you know that you're in the right place. Once you're more experienced and you sort of know what you're doing, like I know roughly now what I'm doing, which is why I felt the confidence to just make my own plan to get to this triathlon. You can do it on your own, and you don't necessarily need someone there. The accountability is still good, but as a beginner, I would say having the coach to set your programs, it takes some of that stress away. And it's someone that you can fall back on if you've got questions, because it can be quite nerve-wracking as a complete beginner having to start a new workout plan and not knowing where to begin.
Yeah, I think a coach is like you say, is a good starting point, because there are lots of information, bits of information. You can go on Google to get plans. You can go. social media, there's loads of people saying do this, but you know, you can do the same workout plan as somebody else and not get the same results.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not appropriate for you. So working with a coach, you can look at, you know, when I've worked with somebody new, I do an assessment. What are their movement patterns? What can they
Yeah.
do? What is their range of motion in certain things? Do they have any pre-existing injuries? Do they have any pre-existing conditions that are going to impact on that? That's important because you can then tailor the program around that. And that's what a good coach will do. You know, there are so many coaches on there with online programs that it's just cookie cutter. They'll literally give the
Yeah.
workout to everybody that works out with them. And especially the ones you have to watch out for, the ones that have got shredded, you know, they've worked with a coach who's given them this program, they've got shredded. They're then going to give that program that they've done to their clients, and they'll say, look,
Yeah.
you do this program and you'll look like me. And it doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. So
No.
you know, the chances are you're going to be injured, you're not going to get the results, you're going to be demotivated, and then you just wasted 300, 400, 500 quid, which is what these coaches will charge you. Whereas
Yeah.
actually, if you work with somebody who will ask you questions, you know, so anybody who comes onto the Shape Up program, there's a form that you're going to fill in. Ask
Yeah.
what's your current, you know, what's your experience level? What do you have any pre-existing injuries or something, things that we need to be aware of? What equipment do you have available? Are you going to go to the gym or work out at home? These are all questions that you need to be aware of, because then you can build that program around it. How many days can you commit to? You know, don't sort of say, well, I'm going to do 5 workouts a week. If you've got the kids to take to different clubs at night, you've got a full-time job, you know, you're knackered at the end of the day, that's not going to happen. If it's 2 or 3, that's fine. If you get the right workout, you can see results on 2 to 3 workouts a week.
Yeah.
So that's a really good starting point. So like you say, see where you're at. What's your experience level? How many days can you commit to? And workouts can you commit to a week, and start there. And then from that point, you know, it's full body movements. If you can get a coach, great. If not, then keep things simple, you know, full body movements. So things like squats, leg presses, any of the hinge patterns, so deadlifts, RDLs, chest presses, rows, pull downs, all of these exercises are great. And then do the same thing week on week. Track your progress with that one. That's the other thing as well. Don't different workout every week, because you know, if you go online and you find, oh, I like that workout from that influencer, I'll try that one today. And oh, I like that one from this influencer, I'll try that one today. You're not going to get anywhere. Progressive overload means that you need to do the same workout week on week for 4, 6, 8, even 12 weeks. I've got clients do the same program for 12 weeks, then we reassess. And then quite often we won't change much. We'll just change a couple of exercises and they go again. That's how you get stronger. That's how you build muscle. That's how you get fitter, you know, and keep it consistent. But yeah, I think see where you're at, get a good coach, and then go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Question 4. How can I stay motivated when I'm not seeing immediate results?
Yeah, very good question. And I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. I can be very impatient as a person, so I do feel your pain because I think we just expect, oh, I've eaten in like, you know, reduced calories for 5 days now, and I've worked out 3 times this week. Why am I now not 6 dress sizes smaller? And you know, we need to be more realistic and understand that, like, if you, for example, if your goal is fat loss, understand that if you have a goal in mind, if there was, you know, clothes that used to fit into that don't fit anymore, they didn't suddenly overnight stop fitting you. Like, that's taken time. And I think what you need to remember is it's going to take time to get back there.
Yeah.
And we just have to be very, very patient with ourselves. As difficult as that sounds, it's not an easy answer because you're not going to see those immediate results. It's impossible. And any programs that promise you these fast results and like lose a stone in 4 weeks, the chances are you will be miserable, and then that weight will go straight back on because it's not sustainable. And actually, if you want something to become part of your lifestyle, you need to understand that it will take time.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back to that you won't always feel motivated. I don't always feel motivated to train. I know you don't, Will, but it's remembering that why. Like, why are you doing this? What is it that you want to see? And like I say, if it is, say, like a particular piece of clothing and you're not motivated because it's not happening as quick as you'd like, if you stop now, you're not going to get any closer. But by carrying on, you will be one step closer to that goal, whatever that might be. But by giving up, you never will be. And it's just remembering that why, keeping that in the back of your mind, that on those days where you think, oh, this is taking forever, I'm never going to get there, swap that mindset to think, if I do this today, I'm one step closer than I was yesterday. But if you just quit, you'll never be any closer.
Yeah, and I think the key is, and we've said it before, is rather than focus on the goal and the end point, focus on
Enjoy the
what you're doing.
process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy the process, because and there is an old saying that the person who enjoys the journey is going to travel further than the person who
Yeah.
enjoys the destination. And that's so true. And it's something
Yeah.
that for me personally, that was the secret to, because I've done weight loss things before. You know,
Yeah.
my weight yo-yoed all the way through my late teens, 20s, and into my 30s. I did all the diets, and I lost weight and put it back on again, lost weight and and I've done these kind of 12-week
Yeah.
transformation things.
Shreds or
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's not so much, it was 12-week fat loss. It wasn't to do with like working out in the gym. It was literally just an extreme diet. And the weight does drop off you, but it goes back on again because you don't learn those habits and you're not learning the processes that allow you to sustain it.
Yeah.
And that's the key. You've got to really, really focus on that process. And as you said there, you also got to remember that the weight doesn't go on overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. If it's taken you, 2, 3, 4 years to put the weight on,
Yeah.
it's going to take at least half of that time to kind of lose it again, in my
Yeah.
experience. And that's my experience with myself and working with hundreds of different clients as well. But just by focusing on what you're doing on the day to day, focus on eating healthily, not just about, nailing your calories and your protein, but being consistent with that, eating healthily and with your meals. Try not to, you know, starve yourself in the week and then enjoy the weekend,
Yeah.
try to control everything. Enjoy it, enjoy working out, do
Yeah.
exercise that you actually enjoy. If you
Yeah.
hate running, don't run.
Don't run.
If you're not particularly keen on going into the gym and weightlifting, then don't make that the prior. I would say that weightlifting is one of those things that there is an exception. You need to do some sort of strength work because you need to be able to maintain that muscle mass. But if you don't enjoy it, then don't make that the sole way of exercising. Try and find ways that you can add resistance training in different ways. So you could do circuit classes. You could do a little bit of CrossFit if that was something that floated your boat, or high rocks. There are loads of different ways of doing it. But find something you enjoy. Enjoy it. That's the key thing, because if you enjoy it, you're more likely to stick with it. And the same with your diet. Find foods that you enjoy, eat them.
Yeah.
Healthy food. Yeah, and find meals that you enjoy, healthy meals that you can make easily and quickly, and you're more likely to stick to them. Yeah. So yeah, I think the key thing there is, rather than focusing on the end goal, focus
Yeah.
on enjoying what you're doing and
Yeah.
be in the process.
Yeah. Like what I've discovered from this triathlon training is that I really enjoy open water swimming. So although that was an early session, like I still love being in the water. Like I've loved getting back into running. It's been like a really good process. And like you say, as much as in my head, I'm like, I want that medal at the end. I'm not hating every single training session. Like you say, there's days where you're less motivated, but yeah, do something that you actually enjoy doing. And even when you're not in the mood for it, it's easier to do than if you absolutely hate doing something.
Yeah. And then if you're not enjoying it, and this is a kind of a key one. I had a message from a client who's like, they're feeling demotivated, they're not enjoying things at the moment. Change it.
Yeah.
Change things up. And there are times when I like weightlifting, but there are times when I really don't enjoy weightlifting. So
I think I'm feeling I know who this one is.
but I change my change the style of training. So instead of just focusing purely on weightlifting, I'll add a little bit of cardio side of things in, and I'll maybe do a little bit of circuit training, or I'll do
Yeah.
more cycling, more swimming. and it's normal for you to go through phases. That's perfectly normal. What I don't want people to do is to think, right, I've done weightlifting for 12 weeks, I'm getting sick of that, and then stop. Do
Yeah.
something else, you know. And if you need to have a break from that, that's fine. It's the same with food. I eat overnight oats pretty much every single morning, and to be fair, I got sick of them last week. I was getting sick of them. So this week I've had smoothies, and because I've had the week off, I've had a bit more time. So I've had smoothies. I've done stuff with toast and changed the food that I'm eating because I've had a bit more time. And then when I go back into work next week, I'll have those ideas that I can kind of do. I've enjoyed. I got a Ninja Creamy for my birthday.
I did see. Very
Yeah.
jealous.
So we've had ice cream every night this week, which is great.
Love that.
Um, although my ice cream versions were the high protein, low fat ones. Rosie has done the full fat, creamy, like.
Oh, I bet it's so good.
So I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, so I used almond milk and things like that. And she's got, like, in hers, it's full fat milk, condensed milk, and then
Oh,
heavy cream.
delicious.
Oh, it's
Delicious.
absolutely banging. But you know, we've enjoyed eating different foods,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. You change things up. You're not going to want to do the same thing every single day. Change it up, and then we'll go back into next week, and I'll refocus again. Maybe going back into a little bit more heavy lifting and change the focus as well. That's the other thing. You know, if
Yeah.
your focus is fat loss is hard. It is hard, mentally hard as well as
Yeah.
physically. It is perfectly normal to build breaks in. Like, you might do a period of fat loss for 4, 8, 12 weeks, but then add a diet break in of 1 to 2 weeks where you eat at maintenance, and you maybe, I don't know, instead of like training 4 or 5 times a week, train twice and then go for walks, or don't train at all for a week and just stay active with walking, cycling, whatever. Build those breaks in, and be strict with those breaks. Kind of always plan to go back in, rather than just go, I'm just going to have a break and see how I feel in 2, 3, 4 weeks. So, right, I'm going to have a week or 2 weeks break, and then I've got in my diary to go back into the gym at this stage and go back into it. And you might find actually that you miss it, and then you enjoy it when you go back in. But yeah, if you are struggling with the motivation because you're not seeing results, then change your focus. Forget the results, forget the goals. Look at the process, enjoy that. And if you don't enjoy the process, change it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Simple as that. Right. I think that's a good place to end.
That's a good one.
That's
Good
a good
one.
one to end on. And you've got a busy day, so we best let you go and get ready for the rest of it.
Yeah, I've got to get glammed up, ready for a 30th birthday. I've got to turn this post swim, post spending a lot of money on wedding dresses, deposits, and stress into glam. That's my next few hours.
It's an easier job for you to do that than it is for this, I tell you.
Are you out this afternoon?
I don't know what we're doing. I need to find out what we're doing now for the rest of the day. We've only got one child this evening, so we might go out for tea. We might go down to the park because the weather
It's really nice.
It's
it's nice here.
It's not too bad. It's dry, but it's not too sunny. So we might go down to the park.
Good one. That'll be nice. Get out of the house.
Get out of the house and be active.
Amazing.
All right then, guys. Like I say, if you are interested in the next 8-week challenge, the Shape Up Challenge, check the notes underneath this podcast, and there'll be links there for information, or you can wrong side, that side. Sort of find me on Instagram and Alice, AL Nutrition, Al Nutrition _. You can drop us a question and we will answer any questions you've got. We're starting on the 9th of September. Sign-ups are going to shut before then, though, because it does take us a little bit of time to set you up on the app, because it is tailored. It isn't a cookie cutter program. We make sure that you get your nutrition targets that are tailored to you, and your workouts are tailored to you and your experience and your equipment. So we are going to shut the sign-ups at least 2 days before. But if you get signed up ASAP, then we have got lots and lots of other things for you to be doing in the meantime. All right. I think we'll end it there. Alice, go and get yourself glammed up, and
Thank
we
you.
will catch everybody next week. And it's bye from us.
Bye.